G'day, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance with Mags, and welcome back to the city of Talmberg, where Henry has just spent, well, part of the night down here resting. The rest of the night we were completing the quest, At Your Service, My Lady, where Henry, well, he most certainly finished up giving the lady a service. Let's leave it at that. Now, we do have one other quest that we want to complete here, just to get it out of our quest log. So, having a look through, what we've got is Thick as Thieves. Now, our objective here is to steal at least 5 Waffenrocks from the Talmberg Armory. I have a fair idea which chests they're in. Now, the last time I tried looking into this, I couldn't get to the keys. My pickpocketing skill is not high enough, and the keys are always on one of the guards, or at least I wasn't able to find a point where the keys weren't on one of the guards. I also didn't have the lockpicking skill to be able to get into either of the chests that are in the lower armory. I should be good enough to get into them now, and I suspect that's where the Waffenrocks actually are. Now, once we've completed this, I'm going to exit the town as quickly as possible. For obvious reasons, I probably should put some space between this place, or more to the point, Henry should. And we have another quest to do, which is this one, where we're going to need to go and speak to the Archbishop. He's in town looking for heretics, and Sir Hanush would like them to bugger off. So that's going to be our next task for today. We're still off the main storyline at this point, but I just want to try and clean up some of these side quests. And if that doesn't take too long, we might go back and have a little bit of a chat to Teresa and let Teresa know that a couple of ruffians that we caught up with in the last video are still actually alive. So, first things first, let's just have a little bit of a wander up here and see whether or not we can get access to that armory without anybody noticing. Now that is a start. We've got no guards up here on this side, and the door is open. So let's quickly close that one up. Go down sneaky, as much as sneaky as we can be here, and yes, we can pick this one. Crap. Wasn't quite smooth enough there. That's better. Okay. Waffenrocks. Alright. And they're specifically marked for the quest too, so that is the one. Alright, we cannot access that chest. Doesn't matter, we've got what we need for the quest. Now the trick is to get out without anybody noticing that we were here. And no guards outside. Beautiful! Alright. So, considering our recent activities and what we've just done on top of those activities, I think it's about time we mount up on our trusty steed and get the frig out of here. Riding with a torch is a pain in the ass. I hope the sun comes up soon, or it should be just about to rise. The torch flash blinds you just as much as it gives you light to actually see where you're going. Alright, so we're going to turn right down here. We're going to head down across the bridge. We're going to head south first, because that's the direction of the millers, and I would like to get rid of these Waffenrocks before we move on to the next section of the quest. So, it's a beautiful starry night for a ride. Let's get ourselves to the millers, shall we? You know, I feel like I've said it 100 times in this series at this point, but the lighting and sound effects that they've put into this game, I mean, just look at this early morning dawn, look at the colours. I mean, they won't fully translate through to YouTube. YouTube, unfortunately, YouTube's compression tends to mangle such things, but... so let's get rid of the... let's get rid of the damn torch. Put my shield back on, actually. If I can find it. There we go. But there we go. Now we've got the torchlight out of the way. Look at the colours. The scattering in the background. I mean, this could be, you know, outside of the fact that the trees are straight and everything's well ordered, this could be Australian bushland early in the morning on a camping trip. They've just got it so right. Anyways, should be down this way to the miller, hopefully. Arrived. Let's hope the miller is up and awake. That is not who we're after. And that's not what I intended to do. And the miller is not awake. Well, at the very least, nourishment 50, because I went and did this job for him. He can put on breakfast. Hey, somebody's up. Yes, a strange armoured person standing in the middle of your kitchen eating your food. How you doing? You, get up.
I am at your service, Sir Knight.
I've done as you asked.
Excellent, Henry. I look forward to the latest news from Talmberg. I hope Captain Robart
And I didn't actually mean to skip that then. Have you got another job for me? Training? Is there any good work for carpenters?
Is there any work here for carpenters?
I'm not looking for anyone at the moment.
Okay. Worth asking. I'm not going to pick up any more jobs here for the moment. I might come back and do something with the millers a little bit later, but it's not what I want to do now. So, that's that one out of the way. We'll give ourselves a little bit of a quick wash. Alright. Now, where is our next destination? Good night, matey. I love you. I'll be in there to give you a kiss in just a moment, okay? Alright, so, our next destination, we are going to have to bring up our quest log 4 and... north of Nyhoff. This actually wasn't far from Talmberg, so we've had to go in completely the wrong direction to hand that one in, but I really wanted that quest cleared. So the easiest path is probably going to make the ride back around and go back up via Talmberg and then go back to Uzhitz, I think. I'm going to spend a lot of time on horse today. I hope my horseman skill actually starts going up. You know, I'm almost disappointed. We've been riding most of the day.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't encountered a single person on this road yet. There are a couple of people, a couple of peasants on the road not long after we left the mill. Besides that, outside of the other people wandering around the towns we've passed through, there's been no one. I take that back. There is someone.
I can't go on.
Okay. What's going on?
What happened to you?
Terrible things, sir. Terrible things. God must be punishing me, but I truly don't know what I've done to deserve it. Those devils killed my man and then had their way with me. I gave birth in the woods, like an animal. And I'm left with nothing but to beg here at the roadside. God have mercy on me. A few groshens, sir, so I can go and buy some milk for the little one.
This seems to happen a lot in this neck of the woods. Why don't you join right here with refugees? You know what? I've got the money.
Here you are.
Thank you, sir. May God bless you.
I've got to go stop, and this is a third or fourth time I've ran into somebody with that same sob story. Actually, it's happened that often at this point, I'm starting to wonder whether or not it's real. It'd be a giant, extortion racket trying to suck money out of people riding around this area with that same story over and over and over again. Alright, so we want to make ourselves a right-hand turn here at the bridge, past Castle Talmberg. We don't appear to be being targeted at all by the guards, so I'll take it that nobody has any idea what we got up to last night here, and in the early hours of this morning, so that's fine. Let's just keep it that way and keep going.
Yeah.
Alright, and there she is, Ujits. So we've got a couple of stops to make here before we start on with this next quest for the Vicar. Now our first stop should be just here on the left. I want to go and speak to the scribe. I'm actually kind of out of books at the moment. I wouldn't mind picking up a few more to pick up my reading skills a little. And any other skill books that he's got, really.
I'm honored that you should come to me. God be with you.
Okay, so what do you have? Primers. A skill book on reading, length 40, progress 0%. Yep, let's grab that. And we have Primer 2, length 60, 0%, 160 gold. Yeah, I'll pay that. Okay, what else have we got? On tournaments. On tournaments and nightly joust, 53.5. Yep, I will grab that one. How good mead is brewed. On Prague. Past schisms. I'm not sure which ones will actually teach me what I'm after here, to be perfectly honest. Oh, the three we've got right now will give me something to read. Oh, of course, check basket. Actually, let's haggle a little here. Let's haggle
we
a
do
little
something about the
reverse.
Alright, so.
Give me your price. How about 185? We'll give you a
Here
tip.
you are.
Our reputation
With a little
isn't great
top up.
around here, so...
Well now, thank you very much.
And double reputation gained. Okay, beautiful. So that's a start. We now have some books to read. Now, I would say the vicar is over here somewhere. Let's park our pony here at the inn. See what they've got to say. You look familiar. Godwin's concubine. I think this is the right building. Yep, that's the vicar. He's still sleeping this late in the morning. Get out of bed, you lazy sack of shit.
God save, Monsignor. My name's Henry, and I've been sent by Sir Hanush of Lipa.
Sir Hanush, And why is he sending you?
I'm to assist you in your search.
Oh, I see. How considerate of him. Well, you've come at the right time. I need someone who'll go unnoticed among the locals.
Oh, I'm pretty sure
Sir
I'll be
Hanush
noticed.
told you what I'm doing here.
He said you're looking for heretics?
Exactly. I'm seeking out the sores that inflict the body of the church. The rash of heretics. Valdensians. Dangerous heretics, one and all.
Okay, so what can I do to help? Will the locals trust me? Do you have any suspects? Why do you think there are heretics here? Who are the Waldesians? Yeah, who are these people?
Who are
anyway?
these Valdensians? I've never heard of them.
Really? Then you've either not been paying attention in church, or the parish priest in Ratai is too idle to read out the
That
bishop's
wasn't the
missive
right
to the
question to ask.
congregation. Both possibilities are equally disturbing, but I'll allow you the benefit of the doubt and assume it's the latter. But to answer your question, it's a heretical sect.
I gathered that much. But what form does the heresy take?
Look, boy, I don't have time right now to embark on theological disputation. Besides which, it's not something you need concern yourself with. Suffice it to say, they are heretics.
Alright, you're
Very
a
well,
prick. I don't
Monsignor.
like you. Fine.
How can
what
I help
can I
you
do
then?
to help you?
Excellent. Let's get right to the point, Henry. I know how to get to where the heretics congregate.
And what's stopping you from going there, sir?
That is to say, I know in theory. The crux of the matter is this. We caught a heretic in Gutenberg who told us of the heretics in Uschitz. Regrettably, by the time he got around to describing their meeting place, he was already raving and hardly coherent.
I see. So do you know where they meet up, or don't you?
Possibly. His account was confused, to say the least. I have a record somewhere here. Can you read, boy?
Yes, of course I can.
Naturally, Father. Otherwise, Sir Hanush wouldn't have sent me.
I see. It's a good thing at least the servants of the nobility are getting a suitable education. Some of their own offspring can hardly write their own names. Here's the record of the interrogation. From what I can make out, his description of the route starts at the local tavern. Once you've found something out, come back and see me.
I'll do my best, Father.
Alright.
I'll
I
get
don't really
working
want
on
to
it,
talk
sir.
to this guy any more than I
God be
absolutely
with you,
have
my
to.
son.
Because, yeah, I don't like him. Wait. His guard just sleeps on the bench by the door? While we're here, that's just a supply shed. We have a kitchen, and we have a second guard in here. So, early in the morning, if we need to do this the more difficult way, we could probably pop both of those guys without a problem. But before we get to that, it's probably worth our time to work out exactly where these heretics are and see if we can track them down. Okay, so what are we after here? We are after Heretic's Testimony. This account was written down by Master Borislav, scribe to the Archbishop, recording the testimony. Question heretic. Okay, so some of the letters aren't lined up here. I'm assuming this is because my Henry can't read well enough. It's actually probably a good thing that I picked up those primers before. Was conducted. Hopefully I can read enough of this to actually be able to decipher it, otherwise I might have to read the primers first. First, Captic Heretic, 1 Peter of Hadric, did refuse to give testimony, whereupon the executioner was instructed to encourage him to do so by the performance of arts. He was tortured. When the vicar asked the prisoner to elaborate on who and what they were, the house was assembled and again fell into a silence. Alright, so it said that the heretics do meet in the town of Uschitz. Okay. The executioner, once again obliged to exercise his pervasive art, tortured him again until he talked. Whereupon he suddenly found his voice and began to respond at length, repeated clearly to where he met the other areas. Vargas was a creed. And blah 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 blah. We have a holy man here who's really upset with the fact that he had to hear what the heretic had to say. I began my pilgrimage in Uschitz, a den of inequity where the people were drinking and fornicating. Yep, that does sound like the pub. It's a familiar song running in the background. So I left that corrupt place at once and saw another abomination, the Temple of the... I have no idea what that word is supposed to be, of the Antichrist. With a proud Babylonian tower. That'll be the church. I went past it quickly towards the rising sun, so he went east. When I left the village, I came upon a crossroads and didn't know which way to go, so I fell on my knees and prayed, and the prayer was heard, but the finger of Christ rose from the ground to show me the right path. The finger of Christ showed him the right path. And I went through the sinful land, I'm assuming, and suddenly I heard the sound of a thousand-headed crow. Thousand-headed crowd at work. I saw their quarry, maybe? I journeyed further on all at once and rose to the ground jaws of Behemoth. And his broken teeth jutted up to the heavens like tombstones. So I went through the mouth of the beast, and by there I saw the apostles Peter and Andrew. I was hungry, and so I took the fruits of their labours and filled my belly. When I left their house and saw two widows weeping and kneeling, I wept with them, and they let me sleep in their shadow. Two widows weeping and kneeling. Maybe two weeping willows? Two trees? I don't know. I went further along the edge of the world and saw the ribs of a giant Leviathan awashed by the sea. And two bridges over the river Jordan, and the devil tempted me and tried to lure me into one on the right, but I swam through his deception and went against the will. Tried to lure me through the one on the right, so he went left. And then I finally saw it, the gateway to the Garden of Paradise. This guy was on something really good. Either the torture had sent him insane, or he was on some really, really wicked medieval shit before the torture started. And I finally saw it, the gateway to the Garden of Paradise, abundant with foliage, and it was guarded by men of straw. But they saw I was good Christian and let me enter therein. Those are the last words uttered by the late heretic, for he then breathed his last. So he died from the torture at this point. The execution pair of umbrage and considered objections, while his wage was cut by 3 groschen, he was admonished not repeat such remarks, especially in presence. So good standards. Okay, so the executioner was punished for the death and fined a deduction of wages of 3 groschen. The body of the heretic was burned outside the cemetery walls as befits, so there was not to corrupt the hallowed ground. And that's the end of the case. Okay, so he left the inn, went past the church, so on the road outside the church from the inn to the east, went to a crossroads where the finger of Christ rising from the ground showed him the right path. I think there's a shrine at the end of town we'll have to look at. That might be what he's talking about there. Went through the sinful land and heard the sound of 1,000-headed crowd at work. I have no idea what that is talking about, but let's see if we can have a look. Alright, so we have the inn and the road past the church. We know the church, and yeah, but with some of the stuff we've done there and in the buildings thereabouts, yeah. That part of the description makes sense. Now it says it reaches a crossroads, but that's a fork. Fork. Fork down here. There's no actual crossroads anywhere. But we do get the option to turn left or right at the end of this road, which we know we're going down. So I'd have to assume it's talking not about or I suppose if you look at that intersection that way with the split, that would be a crossroads, kind of, not really, but we've got the shrine here, which will indicate which way to go, and that is going east. So let us have us go up into the forest, and from there, I can't actually see anything. I haven't been that far north, so I have no idea what's actually up there. So, we'll go for a little bit of a ride and see whether or not we can find our way to this place. I'm honestly not sure how long this place will take to find. Alright, so out of this wretched hive of scum and villainy. Interesting that he describes himself as a good Christian, but describes that as the Church of the Antichrist. And there's my boy out front there. I'll come talk to you later, Father. Alright. So we'll be going east, which we are. And we'll see what happens when we hit this fork up here. This is the intersection. Interesting. I have no idea what you're saying. But that would be the shrine. Now, if we consider this to be a crossroads, which it's not, we're going to have to make a choice on which direction to go here. It's on the left-hand side of the road, so I'm assuming it means the left fork. We shall see. Actually, just in case it is, I should probably check. What was the next one? Yeah, Blah, my tail rising towards the sun. So I fell on my knees and prayed, and the prayer was heard, and the finger of Christ rose up to show the right path. On I went through this sinful land, and suddenly heard the sound of 1,000-headed crowd at work, or 1,000-handed crowd at work, and I saw something and their towers. Alright, so I'm just going to head in this direction until I can understand what the hell that was about, if I can at all. Thousand towers. They're talking about the beehives right here. Thousand-headed crowd at work and saw their... I don't understand that work and their towers. There'd be nothing 1,000-headed or 1,000-handed, whichever way that is supposed to be. I'm assuming headed. But the beehives... I journeyed further on, and at once rose from the ground the jaws of the behemoth, and his broken teeth jutted up to the heavens like tombstones. So I went through the mouth of the beast. Alright, we'll just keep riding on. teeth. Fork. Journey further on all at once rose from the ground the jaws of the behemoth, and his broken teeth jutted up from the heavens like the tombstones of the Moabites. So I went through the mouth of the beast, and saw the abode of the apostles Peter and Andrew. I was hungry, so I took the fruits of their labours and filled my belly. I then left their house and saw two widows weeping. And we rode between those stone walls. But that was just the remains of a fence. That way doesn't lead to a farmhouse, that way does lead to a farmhouse. Speak to the bloke here if he's got anything to say.
God be with you.
Do you know anything about local brawlers? Training?
Take care now.
Smokers? I'm honestly not sure. What does this lead up to? It's just a small pen of some kind. Got an activity giver of some kind. Interesting site. Beehive. Actually. Alright, skip further ahead. Ignore all this crap for the moment. Went further on the edge of the world till I saw the ribs of a great leviathan washed up by the sea. There's no sea here. We're in Bohemia. We don't have access to the sea. But there's a lake. So 2 bridges over the river Jordan, and the devil tempted me and tried to lure me to one side, but I saw through his deception, went against his will. Let's just keep heading this way.
Yeah.
The only sea that he can potentially be talking about would be that lake, which is not a sea of any kind. Ponds on my parents' farm that were larger than that. That's a bridge over a river. That's supposed to be the bridge over the River Jordan. Do not tell me that is supposed to be that. Too many of these are lining up. I think I am in the right direction here. It's just trying to work out what the hell it's trying to tell me. I saw 2 bridges over the River Jordan. Okay, so that's to be 2 bridges, not 1. Went against his will. Two willows weeping and kneeling, let me sleep in their shadow. There are definitely willows here. Two bridges. Okay. Yeah, too many coincidences lining up here. There's a willow there. A willow that's clearly marked. So I tortured this guy a little bit less, or had him lay off the drugs a little bit. Broken teeth and marrow bites. I reckon that's probably that wall. So the apostles Peter and Andrew, I was hungry, so I took the fruits of their labours and filled my belly. Doesn't necessarily say took fruit. It's took the fruits of their labours and filled my belly. They're smokers. They're smoking meat. That'll be those guys. I left the house and saw 2 widows weeping and kneeling. I wept with them and they let me sleep in their shadow. There's willows marked on the map back there. Further along the edge of the world I saw the ribs of a great leviathan washed up by the sea. And then I saw 2 bridges over the River Jordan. The devil tempted me and tried to lure me to the one on the right. But I saw through his deception and went against his will. Where's the ribs of the Leviathan? I want to check something here. That's a cross. No, it's not a cross. Was guarded by men of straw, but they saw that I was a good Christian and let me enter therein. I wonder.
Seems I found it.
Okay, that was it. Those, not exactly what I would call men of straw, but they're sort of the right shape. Okay, well, we found it. The clues weren't overly helpful, but we found it. Logs for sitting on. The remains of a tree for sitting on. Same over here. Wooden cross.
A cross, nicely carved. Someone in the village might recognize it.
We have a chest. Lockpicking easy. Come on. Thank you. Russian. And wool fabric. Nothing particularly interesting about that one. Okay, so we will just leave the wool because I'm not really caring much. Yeah, poppies. I've really got to work on my alchemy at some point. Is there anything else floating around in here? It's a nice little quiet sort of spot they've got themselves here. Now you got to give it to them for heretics. They found the comfy places. I mean, the blood sacrifices would be quite peaceful in here. I'm noticing a noticeable lack of blood stains though, so I'm starting to wonder whether or not the church is identifying as a heretic is what I would consider to be a heretic. Well, we do have candles. Although still, there's no signs of blood or anything here. Sorry, Horsey, I didn't actually mean to call you then. Although considering the amount of poppies in here, and what you can refine poppies into, that could actually answer the question why the guy was actually incoherent. It may not have been the torture, he just may have been hyped on opium. Anyways, if that's where we're going, we have to go back to Uzhitz. But we'll have to keep that one for the very next episode. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. Kingdom Come Deliverance will return, of course, next Monday, and as always, remember to click that like button if you did, share and subscribe, and hit the little bell to make sure you get notifications if you would like to see more. Until next time, take care.